All right, welcome to another edition of My FX Buddies, the podcast. And, I don't remember how many days since the last one, but I'm back because today was a really good article day. And what is today? Today is August 3rd, 2023. I might get this done in time for it to be uploaded as of August 3rd, but it might say August 4th where you're listening. I have my window open, so you will hear noise. All right, so all the little stuff that I'm supposed to say, I'm also going to say for the YouTube fair use disclaimer, anything that I show, display, talk about is just for commentary, not teaching, but sharing. But yes, so it falls under the Fair Use Act. All right, we're good to go. And wherever you're listening, I'm probably going to do that more than once during this. It's my Evans and Frank X Buddies. And there's a blog that is located at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And there's a video. There's a video at Spotify.com. Spotify.com. Also under my FX Buddies. So then you can see, like when I say, see, look here, you can see what I'm saying. Other than that, you can just listen. RSS.com. Also, about an hour later, attaches a transcription. I don't know why I can't remember, but I think that's the word that it is. But anyway, all right, we're covered. Okay, so it's been pretty good news-wise. It's forward movement, but it's nothing exciting, let me tell you. Just boring, but they're forming a country, right? And it's not always exciting. So, but they're doing things, they're definitely arresting people, definitely clamping down on corruption. So all of that is good. And wait till you see today, you'll say, oh yeah, it looks like they're getting prepared. So the title of this is Central Bank. New decisions will be issued next week to reduce the price of the dollar in Iraq. So that's the title. This is the title because this is the most recent article, and I like this picture. I'm sure this is a stock photo, but I don't recall seeing that one. And that I wanted to use as the thumbnail. Well, I wanted to use this CBI one, but they're making it harder and harder for me to copy and paste stuff and images, and so I have to settle, and I settled for that one. Okay, so let's see. So we'll come back to that if I remember, right? I will, though. Okay, now what is this? Parliamentary finance. For these reasons, the implementation of the budget by the Ministry of Finance has been delayed. So yes, we know it's been delayed. And what were the reasons? Adjustments that were made to something. Let's see. Oh, okay. See this name right here? This I don't even know how to pronounce it because there's a little apostrophe there. But that is another name they have for the Gazette. Their legal paper where they put all the laws, right? They print all the laws. So I kind of figured out during the week that these instructions, they keep saying, oh, we'll publish them. And then I said, you know what? they're must gonna, I know that was bad grammar. They're probably going to, they're talking like they're going to publish this in the Gazette. So what could be in these instructions that they need to go in the Gazette, the legal document paper for the country? So maybe it's a new rate. I would love for it to be a new rate, but I've never seen this before. And yes, they have. I know people say, oh, they haven't had a budget in 20 years. Yes, they have. The last one, I think, was 2019, and they didn't go through all of this for that budget. No, I don't think it was 2019. Oh yeah, it could have been 2019. But anyway, so there's definitely something different about this. But anyway, so the Minister of Finance, that's her name right there, Taif Sami, to search and inquire about the reasons for the delay in issuing the instructions for implementing the budget, and indicated the amendment of the article on publishing the budget in, because see, I would say "I'll wacky," and I don't think that's what they want you to say, "I'll wacky." Anyway, newspaper is the one that was delayed as a reason after it was sent to the State Council for discussion. So something there got held up because of the amendment, right? So that was one delay. And the deputy believed that there are many problems with the issue of transfers that occurred by the House of Representatives, as well as the problem of the items that were appealed against. And there are items, according to our information, whoever our is, that they will be challenged in the future. There is also an overlap in some items that caused some confusion, and the instructions will be issued tomorrow, which was today, because this article came out yesterday, and it didn't happen today or Sunday. So, yeah. So we'll just wait. So now we wait till Sunday to see if they post it in the Gazette. And there was something else I was going to say about that. Well, I can't remember. But, oh, in another article. So one day this week, or possibly last week, they said, oh, the instructions for the budget, they've been audited and they are complete and ready to be implemented. So there shouldn't be a problem. It's been audited. So they shouldn't be able to appeal it. But, you know, even if they do, I think for this year, everything's done. But we'll find out, right? Okay. So that I thought that was positive. Let's see. After an important meeting, Sudani issues a set of directives related to the work of exchange companies. And this is very long, but they had a meeting at the headquarters of the government palace. How do you like that? You go to work in a palace. You live in a palace, and then you go to work in a palace. Between the delegation of the Association of Exchange Companies. I don't recall ever seeing that before. Doesn't mean it wasn't there. I just don't recall them being in an article. And the chairman of the board of directors of the association and a government team in charge of the economic file by the prime minister, explaining the latest developments, blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you what they did. Oh, and listen to this. So they have these numbers here. And to the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, may the peace, blessings, and mercy of God be upon you. What if we all started our emails like that? Wouldn't the world be a better place? Maybe. All right. So it was decided to adhere to work in accordance with the Central Bank of Iraq Law number 56 of 2004. And they've been talking about this law a lot lately. So let's see, what stated the Central Bank of Iraq is the only authority that has the authority to take all measures to regulate and monitor the work of banks and non-banking financial institutions to ensure their compliance with the exception of cases permitted by blah, 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 blah. So basically, I think this is a letter. It was posted for everyone to see. And I think it's to the government, reminding them, because there's still some Iranian people in the government that are trying to stop this, and reminding them that there are certain things only the CBI can do. Hold on. I'm sending. All right. And there's the letter, the official letter. Okay, here. Not too much about the oil and gas law today, but I liked this. Oh no, this one isn't. Oh, you know what? I may have put the wrong one. There's one that says they're talking about they need to accelerate the oil and gas law. But this guy, the Al Fatah Alliance, I think they're Iranian backed. But the government seeks that the oil and gas law be in the interest of all of Iraq, and everyone benefits from it without benefiting one province over another, including the provinces of the Kurdistan region. But there may be one more, but if not, I was only going to put one article. They're still working on it. It's still a priority, right? Look at this. Now, there's, well, let's see. They should be back, but there's a group of Iraqi people, I guess. Wouldn't be surprised if there was an Iranian or two in the bunch, but anyway, and they are in Washington, somewhere, Washington or New York or whatever. But we don't know for what, we don't know who. However, I think Ali Alak is one of them because he's been missing for 2 days. And there's been a ton of articles saying the CBI, the CBI, the CBI, and he's not there, or it's the deputy governor of the CBI. Sorry, I told you I was going to do that. Okay, but so a new reform paper on the parliament table? What is it? So I'm like, that means they came here and they got another paper. And they went back and there it is in the news. Oops. Sorry about that. I hope that wasn't too loud in your ear. All right. So the media department in the House of Representatives announced the preparation of a comprehensive economic reform paper that contributes to moving the will of the, and will is WHEEL for those listening, because I know I can be hard to understand sometimes, of the Iraqi economy. So, yeah, I would love to see that, and maybe eventually it will be put in the newspaper for us to see. But just we've been through the white paper, and then there was some other paper, and then now we're this tripartite budget, and now an economic reform paper. What could be in that? And it says the reform paper will be discussed in the House of Representatives, and after its approval, the government will be obligated to implement its provisions. The House of Representatives and the Economy Committee are supportive of the steps taken by the government to revitalize the economy. So I thought that was interesting, and those are all good things we want to hear, right? Improve the reality of the Iraqi economy. All right, let's see. The region's finances, Baghdad, did not abide. Okay, so here, this is dealing with money that the CBI is saying, look, we sent you 598 billion dinars. and the Kurds, Baghdad did not abide by the budget law. So I just wanted to put that happens like all the time, right? There's typical of Iraq. There's one article that says something in 20 minutes or 2 hours later, and you can find the contrast. But it says today, Thursday, at exactly 9:30 a.m., the Central Bank of Iraq delivered the herbal branch an amount of 598 billion dinars to the Ministry of Finance, and it was transferred to the banks. So I'm not sure what. I think they think it should have been more money, but whatever. But I just wanted to show that this should be bolded. All right. Here's another thing I think is very positive. Well, bewildering and positive. The central bank announces the reoperation. There's another re. How about we get a re value? But anyway, the reoperation of exchange companies that have been deprived of dollars since 2014. And this, Yeah, this is actually on the CBI, but I took this one that is an article because it's a little easier to read. But so Nineveh, Anbar, Kirkuk, Salah ad-Din, these were places that were severely damaged by ISIS. And they were shut down. And now they're reopened. Sorry, you can hear that helicopter. I bet you can hear that helicopter. But it'll go away. And the reoperation of these companies came according to the central bank after the strenuous efforts that were made in cooperation with the security and auditing authorities. They were allowed to deal with dollars again. You see that? Which in turn stabilizes the exchange rate. So they did get today, in one or two places, they got it down to 1490. So 1490 dinars per dollar. But it was still like 1508, 1501. But it's still a lot better than closer to 1600, right? So also so I don't know why they want them dealing with the dollar, but I get it. That's more places for people to go to get the dollar, so less demand. So it should have, and it says they were carefully strenuous efforts, right, to make sure they're using the right dollar process. So I understand that. But also I'm thinking perhaps they'll also use these centers as places where people can go to get the new lower denoms when they come out, right? Dinar goggles on. Okay, let's see. Al-Sudani directs to prevent the interference of all devices in the work of exchange companies. Now, when you read this, it just says obstacles. So I don't know why in the title it says devices. But yeah, so they identified the most prominent obstacles and ways to overcome them, finding solutions and proposals for their work in a safe and sound environment. Well, because they do tend to rob them. The exchange places, they tend to get robbed a lot. So I don't know, but there's that law again, law number 56 of 2004. All right. So, and of course, all of this is done for what? To stabilize the dollar exchange rate. Okay, here's my one commercial. If you or someone you know has a friend or even family member who owns a business, or perhaps they did own it and they don't anymore, they were open during COVID, they can apply for employment retention credit. And it's really neat. It's money that the government has set aside. You just have to apply. And if you go to this website, yourerchere.com, Everything you need is right there to see if you qualify, and a professional calls you back. All right, so here's more. Al Sudani directs all institutions to abide by the Central Bank of Iraq law. That same law, number 56 of 2004. Now, this law is already in effect, but it's like people forgot about it, right? They've been doing whatever they want to do for so long. It's like a reminder, hey, there's a new sheriff in town, and everyone needs to go by this law that's already on the books, right? Central bank decides to increase the capital of banks. I think that's very interesting too, right? Because why? The people use money, cash, dollars, or not dollars, but dinars. They use the physical paper still. But don't, these numbers may not be accurate because that's one thing. Translating the numbers in from Arabic to English, sometimes they don't translate correctly, and that's not the point. The point is that they have been ordered to increase capital, and also it's to combat, it says, the central bank complains about Iraqi banks of their inability to exercise credit and the small size of banks, and asks them several times to merge. So they're also saying if you can't get the capital, then you need to merge with other facilities of your type so you can. And they've done that before too. This isn't the first time they've gotten them to do that. So, see, merge or liquidate. So we'll see what happens. A new statement of the central bank regarding dealing in dollars and the exchange rate. Let's see, now is this the one that's really long? Yes. Look, it says, the aforementioned system, with its 3 dimensions, limits any practices that would expose Iraq and its banking sector and financial institutions to risks, and by providing these channels and opening them for legitimate purposes, it makes dealing in dollars outside it an illegal practice. But we already knew that. So what did he do that was different? I think it's that system where they are going to they're gonna send the dollars to the place that the merchants are buying from instead of giving them, you know what, they're taking long. I closed my window. I should have done that sooner, huh? So yeah, so there's some steps that they did, right? So that alone is good, right? They want to gain trust of accredited international banks, which expands the network of relations between local and foreign banking sector and increases the number of Iraqi bank correspondents, closing the outlets for illegal foreign transfers, besieging the proceeds of crime and corruption, and preventing them from finding a way to escape abroad. So more clamping down on corruption, getting them to do it right. And it's not just that. They also have things addressing citizens who try to go through the old way that's now illegal. And yeah, okay. So after all of that, and remember, this is just a fraction of the articles. I try to get the ones that have that are comprehensive. But so after all of that, listen to this. Exchange offices in Baghdad are closed for fear of arrest. So they got all these new directives and everything, and the dollar price, I think, probably came down so quick. They were like, forget that. I'm not going in today. They're not arresting me. So I thought that was hilarious. And I guess what they'll do is read, go through the directives because they're smart. They're smart people. I don't know why some people think they're not. But, they need time to read and adjust, right? And clearly they do. They adjust. They adapt. So let's see. The central bank is working to restore the exchange company. Oh yeah. So here, this is the one that was on the CBI. And I just put this here so you could see that was an official directive. And they tweeted it. Yes, I am still saying tweet. I am not complying with this X nonsense because X is nothing good, right? So I will still be saying tweeted, or I was telling my sons. I don't know if you know who Prince is. Most people around the world know who Prince is. But remember there was a time when he was calling himself the artist formerly known as. So I might be saying what was formerly known as a tweet. I might say that, but I'm not complying with this X crap. That's crazy. Okay, so anyway, and here, this is the one. Baghdad and Erbil accelerated steps to resolve the oil dispute. So we always like that, right? Acceleration. And it's pretty good. It's another comprehensive with a little bit of, see, there were 2 attempts in 2007 and 2011 to get it done, but it didn't happen, right? And I think there's one other time. Nope. But so if you want to read this, and it's very easy to read too. It's a nice translation. It flows well. So if you don't know what the oil and gas law is, I think this will help you understand. It's vital. It's vital to it determines everyone their share of the oil wealth. So it's pretty serious. Parliamentary Finance announces it will take a set of measures. Okay, yeah, so there's another one. They're taking a set of measures to reduce the exchange rate, right? Okay, and what is this? Here's another one about the resumption of money exchange work in the liberated areas. So I just wanted you to see all of those. Okay, and why? Oh, I have this here. They want to talk to the ministers of Interior and Finance again, and they want to do that Saturday, August 12th. And some people think that Saturday, August 12th is a very significant day. So we'll see. And then look at this. Parliament publishes the names of deputies present and absent from today's session. So see how they're not playing this government. They're not dealing with the shenanigans of the ones before. So if they don't come, if they don't show up, in protest, so they in hopes that there won't be a parliamentary quorum, um, that they're gonna have their name put in the paper. So, and it right now is really crucial because they're gearing up for the next election, and then the people, if they're going to vote. It looks like they're going to have even less people come out to vote than last time, but whatever. They'll see how many times these people didn't show up. So I thought that was funny. Okay, so that's the last art. Oh, no, no, no. It's not. It's not. But let's go back up to the top. Okay. So after all of that came out, right? That actually is, some of that is August 2nd and August 3rd. Then again, breaking urgent news, right? The central bank, new decisions will be issued next week to reduce the price of the dollar in Iraq. So they've done a lot already, right? And they're going to do more. On Thursday, the central bank identified 3 categories of exchange companies, blah, blah, blah. The central bank provides exchange companies with weekly quotas, right? And is this the one about them merging? There is an electronic platform that the central bank has been working on developing since the beginning of this year, and all dollar sales need to be done through it. But I still don't understand these. One of the basic tasks of all exchange companies, A, B, and mediation C. I don't know the difference of those, but I see it all the time. Very much dealing with Western Union and MoneyGram too. Oh, okay, this was so remember all of that, but the central bank submitted a proposal to the ports and customs, which is that any goods through the Central Bank of Iraq, any goods entering Iraq must ensure that the merchant financed these imports through the Central Bank of Iraq, pointing out the printing of the Iraqi currency will not be random. Printing of what Iraqi currency? And then it says something about any increase in the dinar mass comes mainly from foreign currency. There is no fear of any increase in the monetary mass. All right. So that was that. So let's see what happens next week, right? Okay. So we're almost done. I just want to show you, what is this? No. An article came out. Well, this article, okay, so this is Middle East Monitor. And you see, well, you don't see. Oh, it says here July 27th. Okay, 2023. So we can use this. But the first one was this one. This also came out July 27th. But it didn't make its way through Dinarland until today for some reason. So someone sent me a little snippet of this part right here. Residents do not usually go out because of the extreme heat, but day workers line up on roads and try to earn wages for the day. They get 20 to 50 dinars, and then in parentheses it has $15 to $37. Yes, did you hear me? Do you see it? And I'll put this on the blog. I just didn't. Okay. So people who are smarter than me did the math, and it comes out to be possibly 75 cents per dinar. But this is in Erbil. Workers in northern Erbil province in Iraq are trying Thursday to earn a living in temperatures of more than 113 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 Celsius if you are familiar with Celsius. So, I was like, okay, maybe this is an old article. But if you keep reading, it says the number of jobs available for us also decreased as the dinar has lost value against the US dollar. So those two things, well, actually three things, this price or whatever, there's some famous brothers in Dinarland, and they've been saying for quite some time now, the rate that they're showing us is not the rate that it is. And even their sources from inside the country are saying, I don't know what you're seeing, but we're seeing something different. So I don't know if this, now Baghdad has done a pretty good job of keeping things like this out of the articles. They know that us Americans are over here looking at their articles, and they usually can wipe out things they don't want us to see. Erbil maybe is not. And maybe that's why they let this slip out. I don't know. And there's more questions than answers, but it's very interesting. So I'm hoping that something did leak out. And then the fact that they're in a heat wave and they've been, it's well known right now that they're in a heat wave. And we also know that the dollar is higher than the dinar right now. That's the problem, right? So I do believe this is a current article. And yeah, so we'll see as time goes by and um, some of the intel providers that have contacts in Iraq maybe we'll hear something more. But I think this is very encouraging that possibly they've done something from the rate that they've hidden. And so it's been 8 days, right? Um, since the 27th. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to post this one because blue's my favorite color. And I like this one better because it's blue. But they say the exact same thing. They just have two different pictures. I know, I'm silly. See, this is a guy, but it's the exact same article. Just two different pictures. All right. See there, 20 to 50 dinars, which is $15 to $37. So, all right. And then I'm not going to post this because this is pretty much old news now. But this is an article that was in the Wall Street Journal again yesterday. You can see here, August 2nd. What I will do is I'll put a link if you want to read it. Iraq cracks down on dollar smuggling under pressure from the U.S. So yeah, this is good, except it's old, right? Even though it was just yesterday, because so much news came out today, aimed, and I'm sorry, I know it's 36 minutes. We're almost done. Thank you for listening. But I'm probably not going to post for another 5 days again, so okay. So yeah, see, and the Wall Street Journal is always long articles, right? Well, actually, this one isn't that long, but yeah. So I'll put a link on the blog to this article. I won't post it, but because it's pretty long. Well, maybe I will. Whatever, we'll see. Okay, and we will do a rate check. And then we'll wrap up. Uh, Here we go. 1280. Good old 1280. USD. Oh, let me make it bigger for those that are looking on a phone. USD IQD 1280 to 1334. And the Google, refresh, and the Google has it at 1307. Yeah. All right. So thank you for listening. I really hope you found this helpful. I know it's a lot. And like I said, the article that came out, while I'm happy to see it, it leaves more questions, right? But there's evidence of forward movement, evidence of want to accelerate. Um, yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. So with that, again, I will say thank you for listening. Um, Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. No, yeah, don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, noon, night, whatever time frame you are enjoying this podcast in.